Here's why you play Argus, the Dark Angel in the EXP lane. First off, he has strong sustain and late game scaling thanks to his passive, which allows him to heal and ignore part of the enemies and defenses with empowered attacks. He also provides excellent chase and mobility, as his first skill lets him dash into fights and stick to enemies, while his second skill gives him attack speed on cursed trails. Finally, Argus excels in clutch team fights because of his ultimate, which grants him death immunity and turns him into a fearless frontliner capable of turning fights around. However, Argus is weak in the early game, making him vulnerable before getting his ultimate. He also has limited crowd control, meaning he can struggle against heroes with high mobility. Lastly, Argus is item dependent, requiring farm and core items before becoming a real threat. Argus's passive, Warmonger, empowers his basic attacks to building up Malice energy. Once fully charged, his next attack releases a powerful slash that heals him and ignores a portion of the target's defense. This makes him dangerous in extended fights and provides sustain, especially in duels. Argus's first skill, Demonic Grip, sends out a demonic hand that pulls him and an enemy together if it lands. If it misses, Argus dashes to the chosen location. The skill can be recast to perform another dash, damaging enemies in the path. This skill gives him strong gap closing ability to dive into enemies or chase down fleeing targets. Argus's second skill, Meteoric Sword, thrusts his blade forward, damaging and slowing enemies. Second hit, Argus and leave a trail behind that speeds Argus up when he moves along it. Hitting cursed targets with basic attacks also grant extra Malice energy, letting him trigger his passive faster. This skill allows him to lock down enemies while boosting his chase potential. Argus's ultimate, Eternal Evil, makes him immune to death for a short period, removing debuffs and allowing him to keep fighting aggressively. After the duration, a portion of the damage he dealt is converted back into HP. This ability makes him incredibly hard to deal with in team fights, as enemies must decide whether to disengage or risk being punished after his immunity ends. A strong combo for Argus in team fights is to engage with the first skill to pull himself into the enemy backline, then recast it to dash through enemies, follow up with the second skill to slow enemies and chase them along the cursed trail. Use basic attacks until his health drops, then activate his ultimate and continue fighting fearlessly to maximize damage and healing. Moving on to builds, I usually build Corrosion Scythe, Sea Halberd, Windtalker, Berserker's Fury, Ha'a's Claws, and finally Great Dragon Spear. These are emblems that go along with this build. As for battle spells, sprint to escape or chase enemies, flicker to close gaps or reposition in fights, and execute to secure early kills if you're playing aggressively. Argus is strong against heroes with low mobility who cannot escape once he sticks to them, such as Gord and Aurora. However, Argus struggles against tanky heroes with high physical defense like Tigreal or Katokacha, as they can absorb his damage and control him. Argus works very well with supports like Angela and Rafaela, who can boost his sustain and help him stick to targets longer. You should upgrade the second skill first for better damage and slow, with the first skill as backup for mobility. Most importantly, upgrade the ultimate whenever available. When playing Argus, patience is key. In the early game, focus on farming and playing safe because Argus is much weaker without his core items and ultimate. Avoid committing to fights too early unless you're sure you can secure a kill. In team fights, wait for the right moment to dive in. Using an ultimate too early can waste its potential, while using it too late might get you killed before it activates. Always aim to use your first skill to close gaps and your second skill to slow enemies, ensuring they can't escape your damage. Remember that your ultimate doesn't make you unkillable forever. Smart opponents may disengage and wait it out so you can use your mobility to stick to priority targets. Finally, when split pushing, Argus can duel most heroes effectively in the late game. Just be mindful of enemies with strong crowd control who can shut you down before you cast your ultimate.